that program for. I definitely own that. It's something I struggle with. And it's these kinds of mind tools. We we need our mind toolbox to be full of lots of different types of tools. And as I've thought of this idea, I thought sometimes people just have a hammer in their toolbox and they just bang away at all their problems, with their energy and their anger and frustration. And some people have a screwdriver. You kind of know where that's going, right? They want to screw everybody over, right? To be a balanced person, to go in a positive direction, you need to have a lot of different kinds of tools. You need tools of observation. You need tool of detachment. You need tools of becoming centered. Tools to become balanced. You want to start getting a refinement of your tools because life is complex. I think it's meant to be as part of the human experience. And it forces us to look at our tools and refine them and use them. And the tool of the mind concept is so useful in so many ways. Because so much of what is happening in the realm of thought, is happening in the mind. And we get habituated to just using certain tools over and over again because they worked. But life has a way of teaching us and pushing us to grow. And one day, those tools just don't work anymore. The results are just not what you want. So you have to sit back and go, observe the situation and just go, what new kinds of tools do I need? And to be seeking those out and to be learning. And that comes in learning from all kinds of realms, the psychology realms, from self-help advisors and guides, from spiritual teachings, but everything we need, it actually really is within in terms of developing tools. Nobody's in your shoes. Nobody's living your life. Nobody knows what you are dealing with. So I do have a family member who does crafting types of work and actually didn't have some tools that he needed to do that work. So he actually made the tools to do his work. He actually figured out what he needed and jerry-rigged it into the right kinds of tools. And it was a bit unorthodox, but it did the trick, right? So however you get there, it's fine. You might have come up with such an unconventional solution that wouldn't work for anyone else. And it's peculiar, but it works for you. And that's fine. That's refining and understanding your human process of problem solving. But this, after you listen to this talk that I'm giving, just take a day and try to notice and observe, because I've done this many times. Try to notice and observe how many times somebody wants you to react right now. And if you don't have that active of a life, maybe your life is quieter. Try to see, for instance, if you're watching a movie, how, in an action movie, that's action, reaction, action, reaction, action, reaction, The hero is constantly reacting to what the villain is doing. And eventually the hero learns how to stop reacting to the villain's, attacks and get a strategy to be the actor, to act on the problem or the situation or act in such a way as to stop the villain. It's just a basic human interaction kind of thing. But this is so powerful, and it can be used in a negative way. I don't recommend be a negative actor, but, choose a strategy that is for the best and highest good, right? For yourself and for that person. I have found that I just don't need to be around a lot of people. I do not need to be around addicted people. I don't need to be around negative people. I don't need to be that way myself. So I'm not judging that. I get in those modes, and I get sharp, and I get pushy. I know that about myself. I'm kind of a type A kind of person, or have been in the past. So I know when I succumb to that, programming, which ultimately that is key. We're programmed. We're a programmable android, so to speak. Our human mind is a programmable, biological robot. And I'm not saying we don't have feelings or anything. I'm just saying that we can look at what our programming is. Why do I always do that same thing over and over again? Look into it. Say, oh, I do that because I'm triggered about something in the past that made me afraid or feeling vulnerable. This is my way to stop feeling vulnerable or avoid the feeling. And that's why I do that thing, And then say, okay, instead of doing that negative thing, I'm going to do something positive in place of it. Or you might not be able to get that problem solved all at once, as the aforementioned addictive, pattern. My father famously quit smoking. He was in a culture where they started smoking at 9 years old. He was 9 years old. And he tapered off the use of tobacco very ingeniously. He started rolling his own cigarettes, so that's a bit of a hassle factor just to get a puff. He didn't buy commercial cigarettes. Then he got a pipe, and he put his tobacco on one end of the house and his pipe on the other end of the house. And he had to decide if it was worth going and getting those items and smoking and then having to put them back. And that cut down a few more, tobacco sessions per day, and to where it was just a few. He wouldn't bring it to work. That was another thing he did. And then finally, when we just accepted the fact that he was going to be a pipe-puffing intellectual, he was a very intelligent man, we got him a very nice pipe. I mean, I hate to say this is what we did back in the day, but when I was a kid, but we got him a nice pipe and a pipe stand and a tobacco holder for Father's Day, right? People used to do that. And that was the day he told us that he was quitting, or he had quit. I was like, oh, wow. So we, I don't know what we did with the pipe and whatnot, but I remember the tobacco holder. My mom liked it. It was kind of pretty, and she made it into a candy holder, which probably wasn't good for diabetics, but it was just, he really did it, changing it incrementally, and he didn't react to his need for nicotine the same way, so he became the actor. He acted on his habit, and all of us have, abilities and disabilities and addictions, hidden addictions, obvious addictions. It's okay. We just need to observe that. And another, I'd say, negative reaction is if you do have something in your life and you're going, oh, I'm so terrible, this is awful, I've got this habit, blah, blah, blah. That's reactionary, right? And it's not helping you. It's lowering your self-esteem further so that you feel like, let's say it was alcoholic, I was like, I feel so terrible about myself, I have to have a drink, Or people who create drama to say, oh, you drove me to drink, when really that's their behavior is out of control, So, yeah, this is a key truth that I've learned, and it's helped me so much in my life in dealing with people. The reactor is slave to the actor. Well, we just don't have to be a slave anymore. So thank you for listening, and I hope that was helpful. Again, thank you so much for listening to this program. I am observing with Karen Christine Patrick. I really appreciate it that you have come this far with me for this space of time. Thanks to the musician Jazzar, my favorite composer, from freemusicarchive.org for the wonderful music in this program. Please visit my Facebook group, I, as in EYE, am observing, and let's keep the conversation going. This program was brought to you by Isagenix, now with dairy-free, GMO-free, delicious protein shakes. I drink one every day. I am pursuing optimum health and well-being. Contact me on my page, isagenix.com/KC Patrick. Finally, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow said of the creative spirit, "Thine was the prophet's vision, thine the exaltation, the divine insanity of noble minds, that never falters nor abates, but labors and endures and waits, till all it foresees it finds, or what it cannot find creates."